going to jump into our first mistake.
Great, thanks, Allison. And I'd argue they're all important, but it's nice to kind of see where people's heads are at. And so we'll start here with pursuing the wrong bids, a topic that is obviously important to the group and also one that is always top of mind when we're talking with users, with potential customers, all that good stuff. So let's talk about the challenges and kind of how that comes about. So I hear a lot kind of on the street, well, we bid on everything. And ultimately, it's challenging to review the wide universe of opportunities that are out there against your technical capabilities. How mature are those capabilities? Do you have the resources to deliver against these opportunities on time and on budget? And ultimately, if you're pursuing poor fit opportunities, one, that can lead to cost overruns in performance as you're kind of maybe we realize, oh, this capability isn't as mature as maybe it should be. We're under-resourced. There's reputational hit there as well, and ultimately puts you at a competitive disadvantage for winning more business in the future. And ultimately, I think it's businesses don't do a good enough job of looking at all these opportunities, analyzing them against data, customer language, et cetera, and reviewing it against your own capabilities. And when you pursue these opportunities that are poor fit, you exhaust your bid and proposal resources. Those are scarce. Ultimately, if you're pursuing opportunities that you may lose, you don't want to cause unnecessary burnout on already overburdened teams. Staff retention is top of mind lately. Are we best deploying our limited resources against the opportunities that you're best placed to win? And ultimately, you'll hear me talk about opportunity cost a lot today. Every dollar, every man hour spent pursuing poor fit opportunities is one that you cannot deploy against better opportunities. And I think that's really the crux of the matter here. And so I know Allison's deeply passionate about this topic. So Allison, why don't you walk us through what can we do to avoid some of these pitfalls and arm people to make these decisions with a bit more data and objectivity?
Absolutely. So what we want to do is give you the ability to make sure you're asking the right questions and continue throughout the process to revisit your decisions as conditions change. So we identified the front end, what our differentiators are, what the ROI was and what the benefit was to the business. As we go through the process, are those things staying true? Are we able to continue to check throughout the process and make sure that this is still a viable pursuit and that something hasn't changed that's going to be material? So we want to make sure that we have the resources to deliver. So throughout the process, through our system of checks and balances, are we able to continue to deliver profitably on this opportunity? And cease kind of reflexive bidding. I know a lot of times bidding is based on, it can become a very reactionary process, particularly as you get further downstream, and you can rely heavily on existing relationships. So what we want to do is help you to insert more data into that process so from a bottom line perspective that these are the opportunities that are best aligned with your core competencies, best aligned with your past performance and past success, and are the things that your organization should be pursuing in order to move yourself forward.
Great. So on that note, I'll actually dive into the platform here. Let's talk about where VisibleThread, I think, can play a role here. So I will share my screen. Excellent. So we're within VT Docs, and what I've done here is I have uploaded about 8 statements of work, SOWs, PWSs, into a folder. And so we're analyzing them as a group. You see them lined up here side by side, and we're analyzing them against technical capabilities. And this is a list that you're in control of. You can tailor this to your context. But for this example, we've listed these technical capabilities that you can deliver. You've delivered against it in the past. You're able to do it right away. And what we can do is we can see density, alignment, misalignment of, for example, training and architecture. Where do we see that word appear across the range of documents here, and where don't we? So architecture occurs 8 times in this document, 0 times in this document, so on and so forth. So just doing some quick visual analysis here, we can see that documents 2, 5, and 7, we don't have a real high density of hits against our suite of capabilities. Maybe we don't pursue these opportunities. We focus on documents 3, 4, and 6 here. There's a higher density there. And if you choose to bid everything, which I don't recommend, this is a way that you can prioritize and allocate resources. I can devote more bid and proposal dollars to these higher density hits. And so what we're doing here is we're teeing up your reviewers. We're teeing up these bid, no bid decisions based on documentation, customer language, bumped up against your own technical capabilities. And we can get into more detail here. This is just a good primer. You know, we can export this report. You can bring this to gate reviews. We can get further into the detail here, but we want to empower teams to say, we're going after these opportunities because we're not going after this because of X, Y, and Z. We want to empower people, and we're teeing up this review. We're prioritizing which opportunities you're going to go after. Well, you know, one quick story. I have users that I work with. They have actually, it's a stoplight list of terms. Some capabilities are green. We deliver those all the time as a matter of course. Red, maybe they're in development. They're in the R&D stages. We've never delivered them. And they can group those opportunities against those color-coded categories. There's a lot we can do here. And so we're going to return to this function, but that's where I'd kind of start here in terms of prioritizing your time and those precious B&P resources.